Hi guys, my name is Johnny. Today we're going to be exploring Claude Design. It's been released for just a couple of days now, and I'm kind of wanting to walk through this with you. I do design quite a few websites with different AI stacks and different workflows, so it's gonna be kind of interesting to kind of see what this is. And so let's see. So let's see what how it is, what it works. So it's designing interactive prototypes, presentations. So let's see what this is. So it sounds like it's gonna be like a Figma killer. So we'll see what this is like. Uh, Usually when Anthropic releases something, it's something you should look into. They've done a really good job with a lot of their releases, and even their minor feature releases have been really amazing. So let's look at what this is. It's create a project, so we'll start that with screenshots, Muse, sure, like design JSON files or whatever, prompt it, review prototypes, it looks like, and then iterate using chat messages and inline comments. I'm really interested in what that is. And then export it. Like, how are we going to ship this? What's the deployment look like? Because it looks like a lot of this is going to be on the web, which is great to start off with. And I think by starting off here, so it's at claude.ai/design, and we're going to kind of go through what we can create here. So we can create all prototype slide decks. I actually kind of want to make a website. So I do this little camp out with friends almost every year, and it's for my wife Tram. And so this year's theme is called Tram Okio, and so it's a Japanese-inspired little camp out with just a small handful of our friends, and maybe kind of cool to like do a little website. So this is a nice personal project. So I went out earlier and I found this really cool site that I liked, and I kind of want to use that as Muse to kind of like drop in to this. So let's go ahead and create the project and kind of like let's walk through this together. And yes, we could really looks like we can get really deep into this and get really complex with this, but let's kind of like see, if you're trying to create something really light, just to kind of experiment with it, right? The whole point today, we're just kind of like reviewing the functions and what it's like to kind of go from one end to the other. So I definitely like the idea of it giving you the ability to go screenshot. You want to give us a whole design system. Are you an experienced developer that uses Figma that wants to drop something in? It's giving you those options. And it looks like here you can also do the same thing. So I would typically I would get a web elements. I would screenshots, colors. I would always design like the brand first, right? And or essentially creating like a design.json file that the system can use to kind of like use as the North Star for all of the design, like the elements and things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick something easy. So it looks like web elements is like the easiest thing. And so that this Claude Design capture thing where you drag your thing up here, and then you'll go to a page that you like. So I like this page. I'm going to click this bookmark here, and it looks like you'll have to click on something you like, and so it highlights that, and it creates a code. You copy that, go back, and I'm gonna hit just Command V on my Mac. Okay, and it has a little uploads folder, and it just kind of spits out this JSON file. So I do want to just tell it. You could choose your model. I want to create a website for my friends for a small camp out that has basic information and location and then registration. We don't want to make it too difficult, but we certainly can go as deep as you like. But for this, let's see what it's doing. So this one of the really cool things about this is like it's asking about the look. Cool. So I think and let me stop this. one of the things that I think this is really great about is that I gave it a really simple prompt. And so typically this is not what you'd like to do. You would want to give it reference files, Muse, all of those things, markdown documents. But in this case, let's just kind of like, shoot by the hip and just see what this is like. And so you can actually just answer the questions like this. Photo approach, drop in photos. And this is kind of really cool because sometimes like you would actually have to prompt the agent to say, hey, I want to build a website, and then ask me any clarifying questions. So what it looks like what Claude Design is doing is actually asking you the questions for you. So I would just say, let's say, what's the vibe? Well, we are going to be, yeah, it's called Tremokio. When and where, we'll say Joshua Tree, October 2026. Which heroes, what to expect, map, registration. Just, and then I can add that later. Sure, name, email. That's fine. Just really just one version. I like that design, so I'm not trying to deviate too much off that. Maybe just let's see what that looks like. Let's see. Let's do illustrate shapes. Just keep that bold. Let's do witty. Let's see what witty gives me, and then let's see interactive touches. I think static is fine. I don't think we need to anything exposed as a live tweak. So you could swap. Please follow the Muse, and let's just go ahead and send that off. Like that. Okay, interesting. And I'm wondering if it's going to create a plan for me or if it's going to go ahead and just jump right into design. So we'll find out if it jumps right into design. Okay, so it's going to go right into design. So a lot of times what I like to do is, even if it does this, I like to review the plan. But in this case, the plan was the questionnaire, and that was pretty much what that experience is. So let's see what has all that fun stuff on here. Because one of the things I really wanted to do is I wanted to ask it, do you really understand the Muse that I sent you? Right. I think that's kind of like the big part of it. So, but we'll let it build. Let's see what it looks like and kind of just go from there. And while it does that, let's look at what the other options here are. So while it's building, we have all of this. So this looks good. It looks like it has all the pieces. I think for me, going into design, I think visually, I want to make sure that that's really in place before we kind of get into the other functions of it. So that's just my general reservation to see what that does. So we'll see. And we have a web capture, and we have that, and it's writing the HTML file right now. And let's see, while we're doing this, we can do a new chat. What could I do with a second chat thread? I don't know. I'm just seeing what it's allowing me to do. I am very curious what this is. And let's see. Let's see. Got it. Okay. So this is context isolation is nice. A/B exploration is nice. So this is kind of cool. So I can actually work on different parts of the website as I like. So maybe this one is I want you to explain the design system to me so that I know you understand uh, the muse that I gave you. And I think it's important as we're working through AI. And I know that a lot of times when we're kind of working through things, we kind of just want to like let the AI decide, like you guys know what's best. But I do really want to press people that are using AI to just question things, right? And just like kind of cross examine what the AI is giving you, because a lot of times it's gonna like try to like give you what you want to hear, and it's gonna give you an output that's going to be way off base anyway. So anything that we can do to reframe and mitigate that, I highly recommend doing. And so let's see. So so let's see. Okay. Yeah, I can't actually see the image. Interesting. Yeah, I don't want you to copy it directly. Oh, this is super cool. Okay, that's one version. Save an image, references, what we're building. Okay, so it actually didn't have the image, but let's just go back here and like look at what this is created. This is really neat. Um, yeah, this is I think this is fascinating. Okay, cool. I like this. Uh, Again, you know, very off base from what I gave it. So it looks like it did just kind of like just create this out of nowhere. But I really do like this. I'm genuinely impressed with what this has done. So let's go ahead and like let's do two things here. So just because this is just how my mind works, is that I like to push and see what we can get with AI. So I'm gonna copy this image, and then I'm gonna go back here, and on the second thread, I want you to create another HTML file, but really study the colors, elements, buttons, etc., to create something that is much closer to the attached muse. So I'm gonna just and then I'm gonna paste that here. So I'm gonna Command V from here, and so it'll paste. And so what this is gonna be doing is that it's gonna have another thread. So I kind of wanted to see another version of this, but let's go ahead and send that one off. This one feels pretty good. So let's go ahead and look at camp out registration. It looks up. It has this vintage feel on it. Now it has some really interesting things that I'm like seeing here. Friends only expedition year one. So now one of the things that I really wanted to get into was, oh cool, tweaks. What I really want to get into is making the edits, right? Because a lot of times to get to V0 like this, it's fantastic, right? This is super cool. But a lot of times what people spend a lot of time on is trying to get AI to use natural language to like say, hey, I want to change this out. I want to do this. And so with Claude Design, what it looks like it's giving you is giving you tools to actually kind of go in and make some of these edits. So let's go ahead and try to make some of these edits here. So let's see. I don't know what this little circular thing is. So let's kind of go through this. So I don't want that. So let's comment. What can I comment? Okay. I don't know if it's even highlighting that, but there's a spinning element here that should be removed. Let's see. Okay, and then I'm gonna send this to Claude, and let's see what it does with that. It looks like okay. This is so I'm in comments, so I'm still working on that. So let's try something else. What's edit? So edit actually gives me the actual parameters of the elements, which is really neat. I'm not gonna touch that, but it's nice. You can change the the color of things if you wanted. Oh, this is super cool. Okay, here's another version of this, which does look really cool. Um, yeah, so this is really neat. I'm not gonna uh, play with this one. I really am honestly just really kind of just enjoying this other version here. So I'm just going to kind of like uh, play with this one for now. So we're gonna go ahead and look at this and let's see, what does edit do? Okay, we've gone through that. It gives you access to the elements. Drawing is interesting. It did remove that, by the way. So draw. Let's draw something. What does drawing give me the ability to do? And maybe this is kind of like a lot better because maybe it can actually give you something to focus on, right? Like maybe what if I do is like let's just try a few things, right? Let's just say let's do an X, right? Because sometimes you're like, I want to take certain parts of it out, right? And I was like, okay, and then can I type something? Type anywhere to add a note. Remove. I don't know if that works. Okay, we'll see and see that. And okay, cool. Applying drawing. Um, and so let's see if it removes that. And let's say I want to edit like okay, let's say I have a better use of this actually. Let's do the draw. I'm gonna say in this area, right? So in there's a little post-it note here that pops up, I guess. Okay, so hey, let me move this away. Okay, so okay, click. Okay, in this area, the text lays over graphic elements and is not legible. Please fix. And just kind of like, and this is kind of cool because then if that's what it does, and what it looks like it's doing is that it's taking the draw, it's taking a screenshot for you so that Claude knows exactly what you're wanting to do. So I'm gonna just keep going through and just like real silence, communal kit, sure. Patch of the desert, sure. And I would just do the same thing here too. It's like let's draw this and just say, hey, look, fix the layout and alignment. Send that off. And I'm just gonna keep going. This looks cool. Okay, cool. I think this looks really neat. This is really impressive for what you can create. And let's see what it does with all of this. I think the biggest thing is making those edits, right? The functions and stuff like that, I don't mind. We can add that later when we push this into Cloud Code, like what does registration look like. But I think for the most part, this looks really good. So let's figure out if it's fixed out these other things here. So let me check the file. No matches. Interesting. Let me look at the current files, listing files. Okay, let's see. This file was rewritten by the host after tweaks. Searching for location. Okay, this is interesting. So maybe don't do a whole bunch at once. I just was trying to like add it. Maybe that's what the queue was for. So let's just go ahead and please review the site and text and graphic elements to make sure there isn't overlap and ability with layouts, and there are skills that Claude usually has that you can bring in. So you could potentially bring in, different skills and design systems in here. So, maybe we can like do that if you wanted to, but let's just kind of like go with what's out of the box and just see how far we get, right? My main thing is let's fix this and, let's fix this, right? So let me snip the resolved earlier, do a full review of the layout and the issues mentioned. Cool. So I'm just going to just do that, let it work on that one. But it is kind of neat that, okay, oh, the tweaks, okay, I don't need that. That's cool. Let's see here. But it looks like commenting is kind of like the cool thing to do. Is like reload this. Let's see if it's fixed those two things. So I did cross out that year one, remember? So it did actually was able to interpret that drawing, which is really neat. Let's see. What about let's try this. Let's see, fixed card. Okay, so it's going to move the sun graphic further to the right. So it is making a lot of these changes, which is great. So all in all, this is incredible. This definitely speeds up, and you're getting a site where they've built in a lot of what designers, even with designers that are using AI, in terms of like muse, process, and iteration, they're kind of building this in and really kind of empowering people with a wide degree of experiences with building websites. Whether you're doing something for the first time, following something like this is relatively intuitive, as you can kind of see here. So, and you can see that it's making the changes here, right? And you look at some of these elements, right? So those that have been using Claude for a while, this is like this bar and like this font is like so synonymous with Anthropic, so which is fine. We're gonna have some forgiveness in this. This is for me far from polished, but the fact that I could create this in just a few minutes is amazing. So the thing that I'm interested in is shipping this. Like, how do we set this up? How do I add the email functions? How do I add any other interactivity things like outside of just being an HTML file? What does that look like? So okay, so there's some bugs with this. It doesn't look like you can circle and draw multiple things at once. So if you're doing this, maybe one at a time for now. Or hit the Q button. So let's see what that looks like. But let's look at sharing, and let's look at like what this looks like when we kind of like want to push this out. So, oh, perfect! It fixed it. So let's say like we get to a pretty good spot where we visually have the elements in its place, and it feels really good. I'm going to try pushing this out to Claude Code and see what happens, right? So let's go ahead and hand off to Claude Code. And so this is kind of, okay, I can do it on the web. I can do a local code agent. I can copy this command. Interesting. Okay, this is kind of cool. So it actually gives me the file, so it can actually pull from there. So I'm going to hit copy command. And then what I'm going to do is I have GitHub desktop setup, and I like using GitHub. And yes, you could do this all in Claude, but I still like doing it this way. I'm gonna create a new repository, and then I'm going to go ahead. Oops, whatever. That's fine. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and go into Claude Code. Let's do a new session, and then let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and pull in. I'm going to go ahead and pull in the new repo here locally, and then I'm just going to go ahead and just Just bypass permissions, sure, and I'm just gonna paste whatever it gave me, fetch the design file, and just see what it does, um, and then trust workspace, and let's just kind of see how that works out. And so when you move things outside of that, so Claude Design is great because it is literally a design tool to kind of give you the working files, so that way when you are actually coding or building your actual presentation, doing all the fine tuning, that you have it all set and ready. So what I think Claude Design is doing is that it's shortening that time for you to go from idea to V0. And then it sets you up with all of the files and assets that it's created, because when you look back on here, there's this design files page. So anything that you're doing, it's packaging all of that stuff up. And then when you're moving it into Cloud Code, and you're having the new repository and the new environment, it's putting everything back in there. So I think that's one of the coolest things that Claude Design has, is that it's creating the files for you. It's kind of like an extension of like co-working, another function of Claude, but this is more kind of like design focused, and the files that it's creating for you is poised to set you up better to go ahead and work on getting that deployed a lot faster. So, back over here, and so it's gonna go ahead and do its thing here. So this looks really neat. And so I'm not going to go any further than this, but I think I'll just kind of let this run, and I'll kind of like finish off with some of these thoughts here. But the idea is that I will go ahead and work within Cloud Code to finish up the design. And then what I would do is I would, push this onto the main branch. I would probably deploy this on Vercel, and then, kind of get the site going that way. But more importantly, I just really wanted to kind of go through the experience of like going from an idea, asking it questions. And I think the coolest part is finally having something where you can actually visually kind of go through, touch, and say, hey, I want to make changes here. I want to draw something here. I think those are the two biggest points. So that the visual editing and getting the small nuances is there, and then how it guides you through the setup, right? The design files, the muse, the page, and then making inquiries for that. So I love the guided process, and I love the fine-tuned tools that they give you before you deploy this into Cloud Code, and then to really work on the heavy lifting on that. So let me know if you have any comments or questions, but this is Cloud Design, and it's pretty cool.